Before we begin our podcast, we'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land we're recording on. For Cass, it's the Borragagal people, and for Hailey, it's the Dharawal people.
Welcome to Drag Me Out. I'm Hailey.
And I'm Cass.
All right. How was your week? What'd you do? Who'd you
What did I do this week? Well, I was a little bit ill this week, so I had a little bit of time off work. I had a swim on Monday and ended up having to leave early on Monday from work because I had a little bit of an ear infection, sinusy thing.
Mhm.
And then I had Tuesday off sick, and then I went back to work Wednesday and yesterday. And today was my usual every other Friday off.
Mhm.
So I got up. I had every intention of going for a swim, but then I thought, oh no, I better watch RuPaul's Drag Race UK because, research. And then next thing I knew, it was 11:30, 11:45, something like that. And then it was like, I need to go and have a shower and go and get a haircut. I got hairs cut, although you can't really tell, but I did.
No, you can't. Still looks a bit fluffy.
That's because it's fresh and she didn't put product in it. Because it wasn't Sergio. Look.
Maybe Sergio's not talking to you.
No, Sergio was there and he said hello and everything. But look, check it out. I've got a grey line just there and a grey line just there. Couldn't see it earlier today before I had the haircut. But it's okay. What else did I do? I went to Big W and bought some more gaudy Christmas decoration. What'd you do?
Besides the kids being ass faces, nothing much.
Nothing much?
Nope. Just tried to get through the week without ending it all. Didn't win the 100 million. That was disappointing.
No, but it's gone up to 160 million. So
Yes.
that extra 60 million will be handy in the back pocket. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Hey, I'd share it with a couple people.
Well, I got the receipts that you said you give us 10 million. I got the receipts.
If I win the 160 million.
How much if I get? What if you get 80 million?
Like 3?
Hang on. Hang on. No. It's been a while since you've worked at the casino. Your maths isn't right. Okay. So you said 160 million, we get 10 million.
Mm-hmm.
Half of that is 80 million. Half of 10 million is 5 million.
I'm aware of what half of 160 million. Oh, speaking of the casino, they could use that 100 million jackpot at the moment.
Yes, they could.
As soon as it popped up on the news, I sort of perked my head up from my phone, and I was sitting with my mum, and I'm like, eat a dick. And she just starts laughing.
Well, someone was reading about it at work when we were in the office on whatever day it was. They were reading it and they just kind of looked at me and I went,
Yeah.
Well, they can do whatever they want. They got rid of me, and this is called karma. This is what happens when you get rid of me.
True.
Right?
Mm.
All of these problems started happening after I left. Although me saying that I left meant that I had a decision in it. I didn't get a decision in it. They just turned around and went, the door's over there. All right. See.
Like I said, everything happens for a reason.
Does.
Is oysters new for you? Is that your new food? Or...
No. We had that down in Tasmania. That's when I found out I could eat oysters.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I had some lasagna this week.
My husband had a menu made up for the place that he works with, and he showed me it, and it had a picture of an oyster. Let's just say it didn't look like an oyster. It looked like another bodily part, I guess is the word. No wonder the lesbians like the oysters.
Oysters?
Just saying.
Oysters. Yeah. They were good. They were really, really good. But we actually, I meal prepped a little bit earlier this week 2 days ago. It wasn't really early this week. It was 2 days ago. And I made up a nice healthy-ish lasagna and like meal prepped it. So we've got quite a few of them.
I can't
So-
remember. My friend messaged me and she was like, number one, she told me what her drag name would be. And number two, she said, why do you guys hate lettuce so much? And I'm like, I feel that she's only on episode 2, but I feel we've explained why.
It's not that we hate lettuce.
Well, we
Don't come,
do.
lettuce lovers of the world, don't come for us. We used to love lettuce, but
Oh,
when
yeah.
it makes you vomit, you don't really like it very much.
I haven't even bothered to try it. Like, I think it's in like the little bit of like coleslaw that I have. Like, it's like through. But even, yeah, like, you know how lettuce kind of migrates into there somehow, into the little mix. I feel that I've had a little bit of it, but I haven't had.
In a small dose, it's fine.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you want to put a lettuce leaf on a burger or, you know, you want to have lettuce with a salad, everybody's different. Everybody's different. Some people can handle it just fine. It makes me vomit. And it makes a lot of other people who have had the surgery vomit. But you know what? There's only one way for you to find out. So don't come for us lettuce lovers of the world. You know?
I haven't tried it just because I'm so turned off about hearing about it, like about what it does. So I haven't bothered.
From me or from everybody who's experienced it?
From you mainly, because I mainly talk to you about it.
Since when do you
And
start listening to me anyway?
I have to. This is what we're doing now.
I mean, it is. I'm going right through.
I tried
Hear
to meet
me.
you, but it didn't work.
Half of 10 million is 5 million. Half of 10 million is 5 million.
Yeah, but then that only leaves me with 35 million to play
No,
around with.
it leaves you with 75.
No. So I'd invest half of it already. Like that'd be gone because you need money
Well,
to
invest it into this podcast. I'll happily take it.
I told you I would hire you.
I cost $5 million.
I could buy new talent for that. I could buy more Instagram followers for that.
Anyway,
this week's food update. No, I haven't been doing well with food. I've like literally been picking stuff here and there. Like I'll have a bit of fruit and I'll have tiny bits of chicken. I tried getting the shredded roast chicken from the deli at Woolies. It was a little bit slimy. Yeah, like I like and I know people probably don't, but I like chicken when it's dry as shit. I cook the shit out of that chicken because then I know it's cooked and I could string it up and make like Caesar salad or whatever I do with it. But yeah, so I've gone off that. And then I got the coleslaw mix with the beetroot, beetroot, carrot, but it tastes like dirt. Beetroot tastes like dirt. I don't like beetroot. So it's just a fail for me this week. This week, I'm just not on food. I'm just not feeling food this week. I could go without it. But I'm trying to concentrate more on getting my liquids in. And that slows my food intake down because I'm trying to leave that gap. I'm trying not to drink whilst I eat. Also cut out Red Bull. I substituted that with, we have a coffee machine and I put chocolate oat milk in it. So it's kind of like I think it's like a mocha. I don't know what they call coffees. And that's what I've been having instead. I had my last Diet Coke that was in the fridge a couple days ago. Haven't had one since. Missing something fuzzy. I need something fuzzy in my mouth.
I had some Pepsi today.
See, I don't like Pepsi.
It was one of those places where you go, can I have a Coke? And they go, we've only got Pepsi.
And then I go, okay, see yous later.
No, I just went, fuck it. Give me the Pepsi then. And I drank it and I didn't like it, but I drank it anyway. But I got a question though. Because last week's episode, watched for quality purposes.
Yes.
You said you haven't been taking your tablets, your vitamins.
So I started taking them again. And I also got my new delivery of vitamins for the next 3 months. And I ordered the raspberry chews, not the lemon chews in the calcium chews. Much nicer.
People who are listening to this who are thinking about bariatric surgery and who do not have a health fund, like me, the surgery is $20,000 if you go through a weight loss clinic like I did, right? So it's about $7,500, $8,000 for the clinic itself. And that is for all of the checkups and any psychology that you want. Right? And then the rest of it is obviously for the surgery itself and the hospital. But if you go through a clinic like I did, so you're paying for the dietitian and the surgeon. So every time they send me off to go and get my bloods every 3 months. Bariatric people who are thinking about it. Okay? When you do your blood tests for bariatric, for the follow-ups, and just before you're due to have your surgery, they don't just take 1 or 2 vials. They take 11. So every 3 months, I have to give them 11 vials worth of blood. They check all of your levels. They're supposed to do a check-in with you every 3 months to make sure that your sugar levels are fine, your iron levels are fine, your calcium levels are fine, all of your levels, your zincs, everything, because they need to find out whether or not you are suffering from any kind of a vitamin deficiency. And then they can the dietitian can tailor things for you and give you specific things that you can have that will actually increase whatever your deficit is. That was the day I found out that I was a type 2 diabetic, and Cass had no idea. So she had to deal with that while she was listening to waffle on for 2 hours.
Look,
Right?
I've been meaning to do it. I just have other things going on.
Yeah, but they're supposed to get in contact with you, Doc.
Well, my doctor did call me last month and I said I would book in to see him, and I haven't done that yet.
Because then they'll send you the pathology thing for you to go and get your bloods done. You need to get your bloods checked to see whether or not you do have a deficiency. So what happened in my surgery was, because I had the iron deficiency, instead of them going like, let's just get her to eat red meat and spinach and all of the other crap that has iron in it, they gave me an iron fusion while I was in surgery. And so ever since then, and since the shot, my vitamin D levels have been great. All of my levels, I'm in remission for type 2 diabetes now, but I find out every 3 months. Maybe it also has something to do with the amount of weight that I had to lose and how my health was in general before the surgery. And they're just checking to make sure that everything's okay. But
Your pancreas, how's it doing this week? Is it bursting?
I suffered an injury today
Okay.
at the shopping centre because some bitch pushing her pram, looking down at her phone, ran into my leg. I was walking diagonally to avoid her. She changes direction and crashes into my leg. I have walked through several streets over the years. My wife is an offender, but she's realized now not to do it because she's seeing the impact. If you are walking in a shopping center, on a footpath, in a shop, in an airport, in a train station, wherever it is, don't walk while you're looking down at your fucking phone. There is nothing worse than seeing somebody walking like this. And you go, I can see you coming. Are you going to see me? I don't think you're going to see me. No, you're not going to see me because you just hit me with your fucking pram. Right? Because you're supposed to look where you're going. I'm not going to lie. I have laughed my ass off when I have seen people walking with their phone who have tripped. walked into poles,
Mhm.
or slipped down the gutter when they're actually on their phone when they're trying to cross the road.
Funny situations.
All funny situations, however, dangerous situations as well,
Oh, 100%.
right? How hard is it to just fucking walk on a footpath or in a shop or wherever it is and just walk? Nothing is that important that you have to walk like this, right? And if something that's happening on your phone is important, move across out of the way of everybody. Stop what you're doing. Lucky for me and lucky for the lady that hit me today with her unruly stroller behavior, I bounced back from injury pretty quick now. Okay.
Did she know that she hit you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was there an
And this is,
apology?
this is what happened. So she hits me and I went, I knew you were going to do that because you were looking down at your phone. And she went, oh, sorry. And I went, no, don't apologize to me. How about you don't walk holding your phone while you're pushing your child? How about you spend the time with your child? Now I'm going to have a bruise on my leg. I've got a little bit of a mark. I don't have a bruise. Just fucking don't walk and use your phone at the same fucking time. It's not that difficult, people. I barely have my phone out.
And you know
My
where it
phone's always in my
becomes
pocket.
really dangerous is where people who stand on a train station platform who are on their phone who have small children. These small children running around on the platform while you're on your phone. There are so many people that do this. It is unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. People get so engrossed with their phones. And see, you can't do that in this day and age, not with people who like to snatch kids and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I'll name a stupid bitch's name. Anyway, I want to say Karen, but it's taken.
No. Bethany.
Bethany, right?
Yeah.
So a good old Bethany's pushing a stroller with a pram, checking out a phone, too busy concentrating on her phone and not on her child. Somebody could walk past, literally grab the kid and walk away, and she wouldn't be any the wiser because she's too busy on her Instagrams and her TikToks and all of this other stuff. Like, it's called spatial awareness. Be aware of the space around you. You can't do that while you're on the phone. These, I understand, are a necessary evil. The thing is that they should not be consuming every part of your day and affecting mine. Don't walk and use your phone because, I know they trialed it, but I don't know if it actually is the case now. But what was happening was if you were using it while you were crossing the road at a set of traffic lights, right, you could get fined if the police saw you.
Well, they named it, was it dumb walking?
Something like that, yeah.
I don't know if it's a law, but like if I know they like get people for jaywalking, but it happens all the time at Central where people will walk out in front of a tram on their phone. Like, lucky the trams are generally going slow around that area anyway. But at what point do you go, is my life more important or is
Right.
my phone more important?
Well, when you're at a busy intersexual or homo section, right?
Mhm.
How many times, if you're waiting for your turn to cross and you see the other side crossing and everything, how many times have you actually seen people bump into each other?
Yeah.
Quite a lot. And it shouldn't be happening because you shouldn't be walking and using your phone at the same time.
See, I'll only do it if I'm probably in a shopping center, I won't lie, but I don't have anything with me. Like, it'll just be myself and I won't bump into anyone because I think from where we used to work, my peripherals are great. So I'm generally really aware of what's going on around me. I don't think I've ever the only thing I would say is if I'm walking and I'm on my phone, I can tell that someone's about to bump into me because they're on their phone and they're not aware that I'm walking towards them. So I think I can give that to our old job, the fact that my spatial awareness is pretty good and I can look up from my phone, realize I don't even have to look up. I can sense when someone's in my vicinity or in my bubble. So that's really generally the only time that I'll do it. And by the way, you got Siri's or you got the Alexa. You just talk and they will do it for you.
But, you know, most of the time, because where I have to go into the office is right near a bus stop, and there's a lot of school kids that are there in the morning when I get there at like 7:20 in the morning. And I watch them, I walk behind them, and they've got their phones out and they're just watching like TV shows, or they're watching something. It's like, oh, like, can't you wait till you get to the bus stop while you're waiting for the bus? Do it. Like, that's fine, but don't do it while you're walking on the street. Like, just don't do it.
Natural selection.
Fucking hell. That's the future of this country. Wasting their time walking along the street, watching fucking TikToks.
Kitty dogs.
Yeah. What burst your pancreas? My pancreas is about to explode.
Mine's not like a huge one, but it's got to do with driving again. People who don't know how to use roundabouts. Now, this is the law, and I checked this today. In New South Wales, first on, first served. We do not have to give way to the right. However, it does make it less chaotic if you do give way to the right. So I can understand. But if I enter say someone's coming in from the right and I enter the roundabout and he hits my boot, it's his fault.
Correct. You're already in the roundabout.
Yes. And I don't tend to do that where there's only a few roundabouts where I'll actually indicate off just because they're a bit funky looking. Like they'll maybe have a three-way or like maybe like one's
You should
straight.
indicate in and indicate out.
I don't generally indicate out, but I will indicate in. The only random ones that I will do it at is the ones that they're just a bit like they're a bit skew, like they're off a bit. Because also when people indicate off, I sometimes tend to think they're going to merge on top of me. So that's why I don't generally do that. Plus, you can change lanes in a roundabout.
Yes.
I don't believe that you should be able to, but you can. It's just a general, I'm sure anyone's been, caught at a roundabout and had some idiot either be on the roundabout or, just learn how to use them.
I think we should make some clarification to our viewers and listeners in the United States.
We'll see. This is what I was going to say.
They don't have roundabouts.
No, they don't have roundabouts. So roundabouts basically work like your four-way crossings, but there's a big circle in the middle of it, and you just go around in a circle until you get off to what you need to do.
It's to allow the flow of traffic to continue. It allows from all of the thoroughfares to be able to flow continuously. So there's no traffic lights or anything like that. And it's also an opportunity to get the traffic to slow down.
Yes.
Right. But it's to allow for continual flow of traffic. So there's no build-up, usually in residential areas.
In Canada, they've got four-way intersections. Whoever gets there first goes. That's the rule.
And that's how accidents happen.
Yeah, I guess.
What if we get there at the same time? You'd have to yield to the left because they drive on the other side. But the fact that we're trying to work it out and we're not in a car, if you're at that intersection, and that's how accidents happen, that's why roundabouts are very, very good for that, because it just allows for continuous flow.
Yeah. Just learn how to use a roundabout.
Right? And don't go over it.
Yeah.
Go around it.
Yeah, round it. That's what's called a roundabout, not an overabout.
Yeah, but I accidentally clip sometimes.
Oh, the little ones?
Yeah.
Like, they're okay. Whatever. I don't want to turn that far. There's one that I clip all the time, but everybody does. But
there's one I clip all the time, and my wife, who doesn't drive, always goes, $10 says you do it. And I'm like, nope, it's not going to happen today. And then clip. She's like,
yeah, just a small one. No particular incidences. I hate people who, maybe I do this, where say I'm going onto a roundabout and then someone cuts me off and then you just hear this long beep the whole way around. Look, I may have done that. But we get it. You know,
Was
usually
that you who did it to me the other day?
probably. I don't like when people cut you off in a roundabout because it's not only really dangerous, they're probably the ones that are going to get killed because I'm heading straight for your face, basically, when you cut me off. But yes, I do like to beep. I like to use my horn, but mostly I like to give that gesture like, what the fuck you doing? Learn how to drive.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first? Movies.
I watched Fright Night.
Yes, you
And
did.
I did my homework assignment early.
You did.
I did. Colin Farrell was in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it started, and I wasn't paying attention to any of the credits at the beginning. I can't even remember if there were any. And then Toni Collette was in it.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you that.
It was a pleasant surprise. I was really, I was like, okay. I mean, I like Toni Collette.
Yeah, I
So-
like Toni Collette too.
Premise is that there's a young kid in town. They're in, I think they live in like the suburbs or the Dust Bowl of Vegas or whatever it is.
Mhm.
And he lives there with his mom, who's a real estate agent. She's annoyed by the next door neighbor who has a skip who's just moved in. So the kid used to be a bit of a loser at school. He's got a hot girlfriend. He's trying to hide the fact that he's a nerd, all of this other stuff. They come home and the mother is talking to the next door neighbor who is Colin Farrell, one of his friends who is a nerd that he's trying to avoid because he doesn't want to be associated with the nerds anymore. Kids go missing. A couple of kids have gone missing from the town. The friend says to him, like, your neighbor, whose name, it was like a dweeby name,
I have no idea. Gary?
Sylvester, something stupid like that.
Mm.
Anyway, he goes, oh, your next door neighbor, I reckon he's a vampire. And he's like, no, he isn't. He goes, kids are going missing. And like, he's really weird. And I've been following him. And so he showed him some footage of like the next door neighbor driving up in his truck and getting out of the car. But because vampires don't leave images or cast shadows or can be seen in mirrors or anything like that, the truck door closes and there's footsteps or whatever it is, but you can't see him, right? And he's going like, here's the proof. There's a woman in the street who's a stripper, pole dancer, escort, whatever you want to call her.
Stripper. She works on the Vegas Strip.
Yeah. Couple of things happen and the kid's like, maybe he actually is a vampire. And so the next door neighbor goes to the house to ask for beer because he's got a girl coming over and all of this other stuff. And like, he's like, he knows vampires can't enter unless they're invited in.
Mhm.
Right. And this is after, the friend goes to investigate again and he gets done in by the vampire.
Yes.
Oh, the other huge surprise in it for me was David Tennant.
Yes.
Doctor Who.
Yes.
Doctor Who.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not a nerd that watches Doctor Who, and shout out to all the nerds out there that do watch Doctor Who, but I do know that he was Doctor Who. So he is a guy that knows everything about vampires. So the kid goes to him and goes like, I think my next door neighbor's a vampire. And he's like, get the fuck out. I don't want to talk to you. Blah-de, blah-de, blah, 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 blah. And then, so the next door neighbor gets hip to the fact that the kid is onto him. Right. And so the kid is like trying to protect his mother and his girlfriend, and all the mayhem ensues and everything. And some weird stuff goes on. And David Tennant's character is like, oh shit, guess I better go help him. They're fighting Colin Farrell, the vampire. They're running into him with his cars, all of this other stuff. So David Tennant says to the kid, if you stab whatever this is directly into his heart, all of his victims will come back from the dead, will come back from being vampires, and everything will be happily ever after because the girlfriend gets done in by Colin Farrell. Because they're trying to hide at a disco or a nightclub or something like that, and he gets his hands on her and he bites her on the neck and takes her into the forever after. So he knows that But he's like, you've got to get close to him to be able to do it. And he goes, well, how am I going to do that? And then the kid actually goes, what I need to do is tether myself to him. And David Tennant's like, you need to be able to distract him by fire. That way you can get close enough to be able to stab him in the heart. And then he figures out, yeah, I'll tether myself to the guy. And then like he goes to a hardware store and buys all this shit. And then like they're fighting, and then David Tennant's fighting and everyone's fighting. And then they light him up. And spoiler alert, he gets close enough, stabs the fucker in the heart, and then everything goes back to normal. That's pretty much Fright Night. I went into watching it going, whatever. If it's entertaining, it's entertaining. If it's not, it's a Hailey movie. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not entertaining because fucking Sharknado.
You fucking loved it. You gave it a whole loaf of toast.
I also gave it 27 roast chickens, all right? So don't fucking come for me, right? So I went in not thinking anything of it. I didn't look it up. I didn't do anything. I actually really enjoyed it.
Oh.
I really did. I really did. I am giving it a good 3.5 slices of toast, sorry. 3.5 slices of toast. Yeah.
Okay.
To the point where I actually said to my missus today, if I've got some time over the weekend, I'm going to watch it again.
Oh, that's surprising. I thought you might like it, but like not want to watch it again.
I didn't find it overly horror. I didn't find it overly gory or anything like that. I found it easy enough to follow along. And the relationship with David Tennant and his assistant had me giggling. Where he's like, and do this. And she's like, fuck you. And he's like, fuck yeah. So, because I love David Tennant and I've seen him in interviews and everything. And he's just great. So yeah, I would definitely watch it again. And if I was one of those ones that watched horror movies and stuff for Halloween, I'd probably dust that one off once a year to watch.
Okay.
I really did like it. I'm not going to say, but I think that part of the reason was, let's face it, it wasn't Gone with the Wind or anything like that. But anything with Toni Collette in it is great. And David Tennant.
Okay.
So yeah, I thought it was very, 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 very good movie. It's not a favorite and it probably never will be. But if someone said, oh, have you ever seen Fright Night? I'd be like, yeah, and you have to watch it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So the movie that I gave you was 1995 movie.
Yep. I wrote that down this week.
I think you should be impressed that I actually knew it. 1995 movie, Too Wong Foo, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. What did you think? And be careful because drag queens do listen to this. What did you think of the movie?
Okay, so I went into it knowing nothing about it, and then I had to obviously go and rent it. I'll take that $2.99 whenever you're free. And
take it out of the 5 million.
And so my first thoughts, because I read the description just like as I was renting it, and I saw it had Wesley Snipes, Patrick Swayze, and I was like, what? This is supposed to be a drag queen movie. My first thoughts were when they were getting into drag, like the first scene, they made it like a very sensual process. Like there was like sexy music and they were just, whereas like I've seen drag queens beat and most of the time it's like, like I felt it was a bit different.
But the song at the beginning, because it's got a great soundtrack, the song when they're actually doing it, I love it. It's one of my favorite songs. And where is the body?
Then I saw Coco Peru and I was like, is that Coco Peru? Because I was like, well, this was made in 1995 and she looks much different.
I'm going to take my face to Sweden where I'll no doubt will win the Nobel Peace Prize.
I don't have many quotes from it. I saw RuPaul.
Rachel Tension.
I like the first bit where he goes, I think Patrick goes to Wesley, why is a little Latin boy drag crying? Why are you crying? Ask the little Latin boy, why is he crying?
Little Latin boy in
drag. Why are you crying?
Because you're just so beautiful, you know? Oh, is that all?
I like that part. My other favorite quote was, when a gay man has way too much fashion sense for one gender, he is a drag queen. I found, Robin Williams as John Jacob Jiggle Schmidt. That was
Uh-huh.
funny.
Oh, you spoke French. How bye?
And then I don't know, like I liked the movie. I thought it wasn't as funny as what I feel they could have made it. I don't know. It lost me when they got to the small town because I completely forgot as like why they were traveling. Like I kind of had a Connie and Carla moment. Like it felt very similar. The boys in the town, that was just really, what did they just hang around and wait to assault women? Like it was just a really strange town where these 4 or 5 boys would just show up out of nowhere and just be like looking at, like they didn't even have lines.
Did you recognize who Tommy was?
The main assaulter, I'm going to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I just couldn't remember what he was off that I've watched recently because I have watched something with him
He
recently.
was the teacher in Never Been Kissed.
He was too. That's where he was. Yes. I was going to look that up and then I completely forgot. But yes, he looked familiar and I was like, okay, I know that face. Like I like the whole story, like the town, and I found the wife that was getting beaten by her husband a bit like redundant. I'm unsure why that needed to happen.
That is the amazing Stockard Channing, Rizzo from Greece.
Yeah, I know who Rizzo is. Like, I just feel that storyline wasn't necessary.
Movie. She needed to be in the movie.
Oh, I think that
Essential to the plot.
she needed to be in the movie, but she needed to
Miss
not be such a
Beta
pussy.
Bohem. Oh, she was an abused woman.
I don't know. It felt like it was all about women empowerment. And I'm just like,
But she became
needed to.
empowered
Yeah,
because
I know.
I am a drag queen. Back off, Virgil. I am a drag queen.
I don't know. I liked it. And I would say to someone, watch Too Wong Foo. I probably wouldn't watch it again. How did Chi Chi end up winning when she wasn't in the competition? It was very confusing.
I think it was maybe the next year or something. But see, several lines you forgot, right? When she said, I'm going to go hitchhiking and get us a ride out of here. And she goes, where are you going to go hitchhiking? There's no one around here, stupid. And she goes, well, then you don't know me very well, do you, Creepella? I'm the Latina Marilyn Monroe. I got more legs than a bucket of chicken. One of the best lines. Oh, my God.
No, like I wasn't a huge fan of it. I liked it, but I wasn't.
When she gets out of the car and starts running and Wesley Snipes turns around and says, look at her, she's running like she's running towards the border.
Yeah, there was a few little racist remarks that he
were
quite funny. I preferred Hercules Returns.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's great because it's a fantastic movie, but
look, I'm all for Patrick Swayze and Wesley Snipes to be in drag again, obviously. They pulled it off really well because I've only seen Wesley Snipes do Blade.
Action movies. Yeah. But when they're at the Chinese restaurant after they've won the thing and they're walking through and Naomi Campbell goes, I wish I was as beautiful as you, and Wesley Snipes goes, you're not.
I don't know. There was a few little stories in there that just didn't need to be in there. I feel like the one with Chi Chi and the boy, Bobby Ray, Bobby Ray, because
Bobby Lee's the girl.
Bobby Lee's the girl, yeah.
But I like it when they've dressed her up and everything and they've got to waiting outside for the boy to turn up and then she goes like this, I gotta go, cramps. And walks off.
So I understand what message it was trying to get across. And I liked the message. It just wasn't my movie, I guess.
How are we friends?
I don't have to like every drag movie.
I've given you 2 movies with drag in it and you fucking ragged on both of them.
No, they're just not for me. Can't like everything. If we were similar and everything was the same, it'd be boring.
What have you got for me this week?
Sorry,
what's
rating?
your rating? Sorry, sorry. I was
rude.
I switched off because you didn't like it.
It's not that I didn't like it. Just wouldn't watch it again. With the cast, it lost me on the story, kept me going with the like little bit of humor that it had in there. I'm gonna go 3 toasts.
Wow, really?
Yeah, like I didn't hate it. I just didn't love it.
Half a slice worse than Hercules Returns. You liked Hercules Returns.
Yeah, I know. The cast gets it up there a little bit. I go on a few factors in my rating. My rating is very complex.
So's your taste in movies, apparently, too.
Yes, it is. Varies.
So what do you have for me this week? I really don't look forward to this.
Next week is our, of course, Halloween special. Where we will be dressed up. Yes, you will be. So
I forgot.
You got a week to sort your shit out.
I forgot. All right.
So I have a few options because I'm not sure if you've seen them. I'm going to go with I Am Legend. Have you seen that? With Will Smith? You don't like Will Smith?
He bitch slapped fucking what's his face at the Oscars.
Who cares?
I can't stand Will Smith and his wife go to the opening of a fucking car door. You gave me I Am Legend. That's fine.
It's not. I wouldn't consider it a horror movie. Mm-hmm. It'd be more in the lines of Fright Night, just a bit. It's about zombies.
I'll watch it. Like, I don't like Will Smith, so be prepared for a fucking get a whole chicken shop of roast chickens ready. Because you base some of yours on the casting, right? And I do too. Mm-hmm. Will Smith's in it. So it'll have to be fantastic to bring the rating up in my book already. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What have you got for me?
Oh, it's my turn. Sorry. So I've been tossing up between two. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure whether I should just give you an out-and-out schlocky horror movie or whether or not to give you a gore, suspense, shit your pants type movie.
I prefer not because I like sleeping.
Okay. It's on Amazon Prime. It's called Hello, Mary Lou from Prom Night 2.
Okay.
I guess we should discuss. Did you watch Drag Race UK?
I did my homework.
You did your homework?
Let me pull up my notes.
Oh, you actually, I love how you do that because I've only ever written down notes twice. The rest of it, I go by memory. That's why I'm like, and such, I can't remember his name. I was going to start by saying that this was actually quite an interesting episode.
Yes. I'll give you my notes on what I wrote whilst the reading challenge was happening.
Sure.
Was nowhere near as long enough. Like they got maybe 2 jokes out each, but they do have the untucked in the episode. So I get they're trying to cut it down. Anyway, so this is what I wrote. I wrote each of the queen's names and I wrote little notes next to them. I wrote Cheddar, shady. I wrote Baby, actually funny. Dakota, hit and miss. Black Pepper had some good ones. Pixie Polite picked her to win as soon as she said, "Baby, I'm pro-choice." Mm-hmm. LaPhil was Danny Beard was funny, and John Best Blonde, is that his name? Didn't even realize he was in the competition.
The Irish one.
Yeah, I literally forgot he was in the competition until he stepped up. That was my thoughts on the reading. Wasn't overly impressed, but I'm still invested. So. Mm-hmm.
They announced that they were going to do a musical.
Larry Poppins.
And so who won the reading challenge again? I forgot.
Pixie Polite.
Right.
This is why I write notes.
Sometimes it's impressive if you can just do it off the cuff, you know.
Did you?
Obviously not this week. No, obviously not this week. So she got to assign the roles. Mm-hmm. Gave herself, did she give herself Larry Poppins? Mm-hmm. Yep. Danny Beard was given the chimney sweep character. Mm-hmm. Realised that there was actually quite a lot of dialogue. Wasn't too sure if she was comfortable with it. Approached Danny Beard to swap roles. Dun, dun, dun.
Well, Danny Beard offered. Let's get that. So in this episode, Danny Beard actually became my favourite. With his interaction with giving
welcome
his part,
to the team.
With giving his part to Pixie Polite, he was just so blasé about it. He's like, "Yep, you take it." Yep. Basically because he knows he's going to kill no matter what he does. But anyway, His interaction with Giovanni, the dance instructor, was super cute.
Yeah.
Can we just say that no one is a dancer this season?
No.
Not a choreographed dancer, but they can sort of do the lip sync. But yeah, anyway. And then Danny Beard's runway, Plant Daddy realness,
Right.
amazing. Picked that
Right.
he was going to win.
Uh-huh.
Just with the runway alone, he would have won, even if he bombed
Uh-huh.
the challenge. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, he became my favorite this week due to just the
And
way.
plus he was very aware of, he read the room really well.
Mhm.
When was it Baby who wasn't doing very well, and they were like, oh, but and he's like, no, I don't want to go yay for me when there's obviously something happening.
Yeah.
Right. And this is why I really like Danny Beard and have done for the last couple of weeks now, because whether it's in drag or out of drag, absolute sweetheart of a human being.
Well, he's Miss Congeniality if they do it, but I don't think they'll do it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I'm not sure if they do it.
Yeah. And one of the things that I actually mentally noted was the chick from, is it Ted Lasso, that was a judge today?
Yes.
Her whole persona through the whole thing would be me if I was in the judging thing, because it was like that would have been me, and like she was dumbstruck and starstruck and a whole bunch of other strucks.
Mm-hmm.
And that definitely would have been me, because I just would have been, if I was sitting in that judge's chair, this would be me. LaFleur. Sorry. Danny Beard deserved the win. Don't get me wrong. Danny Beard's runway, fantastic. There was an audible gasp when Danny Beard came around the corner. I went,
Mhm.
it is. But I also did the same thing with LaFleur, who was doing the slightly draggy from The King and I.
Yeah.
See, because I love that movie.
Okay.
And I love it. Like, it's a beautiful musical and all of that. So the fact that could have come out as the Deborah Carr character, but actually came out as the King as I Am. I thought it was very, very beautiful, and like the beating with the piece and all of that was lovely. But Danny Beard barking slayed that whole episode. And then we had the final two that we were down to the bottom two, which was Baby and Dakota Schiffer. Then we had a lip sync where it could have gone either way, kind of leaning more towards one than the other, but could have gone either way.
Yeah, I think Dakota.
The walk off the stage, like
and then the hello.
Yeah. Because like the look on Michelle Visage's face was the same look on my face. It was like, what's just happened?
Yeah.
And then when she pops around again and does a hello, and I went, so we get to the thing. RuPaul is about to announce who was going to stay and who was going to go. And then Baby interrupted Ru.
She had a Valentina moment.
She did.
I'd like to get the mask on, please.
Yeah, but this was different. And this is where full props to Baby realized that the competition, the pressure and everything was getting to her, to the point where her mental health was becoming a factor, and decided to gracefully exit the show to look after herself. I think it was the right thing.
Of course.
I think it was extraordinarily brave, because I don't think Ben de la Creme, I think Ben de la Creme kind of did the same thing, because Ben de la Creme kind of felt like the pressure and all of that other stuff, but didn't quite articulate it the way that Baby did. And Baby was like, I've had a great time and everything, but it's just getting to me and I need to look after me first. Right? So she leaving Dakota Schiffer to stay. I think Dakota Schiffer was gone. And I think Dakota Schiffer knew it too. And it saved. I think there was also a thing of, and the reason why Baby did it at the time that she did was basically to save Dakota Schiffer as well. Like, her mental health's going okay, and she can stay in the competition, and I can't. And there's no use. Once you hear the words, you're out of here. That's it. You know, there's no turning back unless they do something where you can come back, but they don't do that in the franchises. Right?
Like if Dakota doesn't pull something out her ass next week, she's just going to be in the same position. Because even Cheddar Gorgeous, I think, read her for it, where she was like something about her makeup, like put some damn makeup on. We know you're pretty, but put more makeup on, something like that. She knows that she needs to drag her makeup out, not just be this pretty little thing.
I've said this when we've recorded previously. I have said this. Whether in drag or out of drag, it's the same makeup. It's just like, it's almost like a natural face.
Yeah.
There's, and everyone's drag aesthetic is different. However, when your makeup skills look exactly the same as, you know, the lady who works on the 13th floor in my office building, you know, are you showing growth? Because I don't think in some respects she is, which is why I think she was going home.
Yeah.
I think RuPaul was ready to pull the trap door and send her on her way down the poop chute.
She's definitely at the bottom.
I'd be surprised unless she picks up her mug, like beating her face game, and actually starts enjoying musicals. Because how many times did she say that? Like, I don't like musicals. Like, it's more times than you've heard me say that I live in Melbourne.
I don't think so. I think it'll be John Best Blonde and Dakota Schiffer next week lip syncing.
I'm going to say Dakota Schiffer, and who was the other one that was safe with Cheddar? Dakota Schiffer doesn't like musical theatre. Dakota Schiffer doesn't like acting. Dakota Schiffer was like shit at the reading challenge. Like, what is Dakota Schiffer going to pull out of a freaking backside to be able to get to the top in this one? I can't wait to see what Danny Beard comes up with.
Although, I'm going to say, with his accent, John Best Blonde could be funny.
Depends on who they choose, though. Black Pepper possibly next week, or Dakota and LaPhil next week. I reckon they're going to be the bottom. It's going to be one of those two combinations.
I don't know. I feel like LaPhil's going to pull something out.
Probably. I can't wait to see what Danny Beard does. I know I've already said it, but I really can't wait to see who Danny Beard does.
How many times have we had one of the favorites and they go into Snatch Game and they shit?
But you know, the Vivian was one of the favorites and fucking blew Snatch Game out of the water.
She blew the Snatch.
She did. She blew the Snatch right apart. And, you know, and Bag of Chips, like, won twice, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So there are some favorite. Jinx is always a favorite.
Jinx is always a favorite.
Am I boring you?
You are. I'm just tired.
Fair enough.
All right.
So Snatch Game next. It's a snatchy.
So our pillows, Hero Huggers by Rennie.
And start getting in now, because like Hero Huggers has been advertising. You need to start getting in now for your Christmas orders. So you can get them in time for Christmas. It's such a good idea for a Christmas present. I think I've got like 4 in my car waiting to go. I've got people in mind. You're not one of them, but I've got people in mind.
Also,
you can buy your own.
Also, Hero Huggers by Rennie. She also is obviously the fabulous Wonder Mama. She has Walking Tours of Oxford Street. She does drag and draw and drink and draw and drag.
Drink and draw with drag.
Drink and draw with drag. She was on last week, the show. So if you haven't watched that or listened to that, go do that now.
And also don't forget to, if you want an autographed copy of one of her 3 books, if not all 3 books, go to the Fabulous Wonder Mama Etsy page to buy the books Parade Pandemonium, The Fabulous Story of Wonder Mama, and It's Okay to Be Me. Please buy them. If you watched last week's episode or you listened to last week's episode, you will understand that the fabulous Wonder Mama is a fantastic human being and deserves everything she gets in the good way. And these books need to be out for everybody to know about because they're great books.
The local drag shows coming up this week.
Well, thank you very much for asking. I have a list. So the local drag shows coming up this week are Drag in the Dark, Darlinghurst Road, Grove Bar, Potts Point, every Saturday night, 8:30 p.m. with an immersive drag cabaret experience with Victoria Mamie and a very special guest each week. Every Saturday night until October 29. So this episode will be coming out on a Tuesday, so you've only got 4 more days. Tickets are available on Humantix. Death Becomes Her with Ella Warra and Roxy Horror at the Vault, November 19. Tickets are $35. So also in November, Charismatic will be performing in Soiree, the Drag Circus Dinner Cabaret. The 11th of November, Club York, 95 to 99 York Street, Sydney, from 6 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Every Wednesday night at the King's Cross Hotel, Maxi Shield hosts the Big Fact Hunt Trivia Night, starting at 7 p.m. Vanity and Maxi Shield's Silver Jubilee, Melbourne, 2nd of December 2022 at Chaser's Nightclub. Adelaide, the 3rd of December at Mary's Poppin'. And Sydney, the 4th of December at Beresford Hotel Upstairs. Tickets are available from the ITD events page. All shows start at 7 p.m. It is obviously for Vanity and Maxi Shield to celebrate 25 years in drag. Thank you, everybody, for watching us today on this episode. Thank you for watching us on YouTube. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe on YouTube. We moved from 23 to 24. We got another subscriber. We need more subscribers, please. Don't tell us you like it. Hit the like and subscribe button, please. Don't forget to find us on Instagram at DragMeOutOfficial.
Yep, that's what it is.
And that's what it is. And it's DragMeOutOfficial on TikTok, but we haven't really been doing much in the TikToks, have we?
I haven't really been doing much reels, and that's usually what I post on the TikToks. Been kind of busy.
Okay. So if you're listening to us on one of the podcast platforms, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating and say something nice about us in the reviews. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes. Anywhere where you find good podcasts, bad podcasts. As I said to you, if you think that our podcast is bad and you're listening to us on episode 10, you're full of crap. So just give us the 5 fucking stars that we truly deserve. And we want to thank everybody for listening to us and showing support. Don't forget any upcoming drag artists. If you want to reach out to us, let us know what you're doing. If you want to have an interview, if you want to come and just chat or just let us know anything about you, please don't forget to DM us on Instagram at DragMeOutOfficial, or you can actually hit Hailey or myself up on our private accounts. You can find us because we follow ourselves, like I said last week. So it's not going to be that difficult. And just thank you, everybody, for being the lovely, wonderful people that you are. And I love all of you. And Hailey, I think you're all right.
Well, I think you're a C word. So
That's right. C for Cassandra. Thank you very much. And thank you, everybody.
L for love.
L for love. And don't forget, next week, episode 11. Next week will be the Halloween episode. I now have to remember that it's not 3 weeks away like I thought it was. So I'm going to have to get my shit together. Otherwise, I'll just be turning up as a podcaster. Thank you, everybody. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye. We love you all.